Good morning. This is Marty with Excellence in Education Resource Center in Monrovia, California, the home of homeschool freedom. And one of the services we provide are classes for homeschool students. Today, I am excited to present to you Mr. Alan LDNER. He is basically 3/4 of my math department now. He teaches Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and a class that I believe every person should take regardless of anything, and that is geometry, because it has some awesome real-life application. So, Mr. Allen, how are you today?
Just fine.
Excellent.
Yes.
And you're going to be teaching geometry.
Yes.
So tell me, why should they take geometry? I just said they should.
Oh, yes.
You can tell me why.
Okay. Geometry is a fascinating class because it's so much applied mathematics. A lot of what you have up to this point in junior high, you have fractions and decimals. Of course, we use those, but geometry is actually a hands-on. I do some woodworking, construction. We added on to our house, and I use a lot of geometry to design the house. We wanted to match the pitch of we added a piece to the back of our house. Well, the original roof has a 7-inch pitch.
Okay.
So how do you work with that? Well, you have to use a little bit of trigonometry, which we'll hit an introduction to that in geometry. So there's a lot of application, and then basic, Pythagoras is everywhere. Anytime you have a right triangle, Pythagoras is there.
Therefore, the Pythagorean theorem.
Yes.
Lovely little calculation there.
Yes, the most important formula of all of mathematics, not just geometry.
And if you know your algebra, it's not that difficult to do.
No, and with a simple calculator, of course, in the math class, you'll need a calculator, especially if you're going to get to the course in calculus. That's her twin. She has a twin that's we call her calculus. These are basic skills over here. And of course, you can have fun if you like a little bit of history. There's always Sir Isaac Newton. He's around, and he did a lot of mathematics as well.
Oh, yes, quite a bit.
Astronomy is unbelievable, mathematics and that stuff. And of course, if you like music, there's always Justin Bieber, and you can put an awful lot of mathematics in with music as well. So Justin Bieber. And of course, if you're going to be successful, then you get to meet the cash cow. The cash cow, if you are successful in these classes. And that's what a good, successful education will do for you.
And geometry, I love geometry, except for theorems. Are you be doing theorems and all those things?
Yes, geometry, basically, you have definitions. And geometry, I say, is a punctilious course. Punctilious, it is precise, exact, and detailed. So when we give a definition for a word, the word means exactly this, nothing more and nothing less.
There you go.
So precision, and then we have postulates, which are your basic ground rules. And then we have a lot of theorems. And theorems are statements that you can prove. And we will be writing some formal proofs. And I found that formal proofs, writing them out, first of all, it forces you to memorize the definitions and theorems. I've taught mathematics for 46 years, used a number of geometry textbooks, and I found that students could write definition midpoint and not have the slightest idea what it means. They just saw it somewhere in the last assignment, somewhere at the last example in the book, so they put it somewhere in their book. So I have a special little system where you write out the definition. So we say midpoint gives two congruent segments.
Okay.
So it's a unique, a copyrighted material system that we use to do proofs, and I found students have been very successful with it.
Good. And the principles of proofs, postulates, theorems, all that good stuff is all about providing the student with a better approach to mastering geometry.
Yes, you were able to tie things together. We will do writing formal proofs, 2-column proofs, and we'll do a lot of numerical problems that you'll tend to find on your SAT tests, and that's what a lot
Okay.
of people worry about. So I'm fully aware of how the SAT works.
Great.
And so the material that we cover is specifically designed to cover the topics that you'll need to be successful for the SAT on the geometry questions.
Okay, I see a book on the table here. Why don't you explain to me what textbook you use?
Yes, like I
Or
said,
book.
I've used a number of books. Some of them are great, some of them were a little lacking. The sections where they were lacking, I would put together a few worksheets, and the next year I'd add to it. And over a few years, I ended up writing my own complete geometry textbook. So this is Adventures in Geometry. Now, if you sign up for the class, this book will be included with the class. So that's going to save you a bundle of money, because I do sell these things separately, and I can't give them away. But if you take the class, it is included, and everything is in here. All the notes you'll need, all the assignments. You will not need another sheet of paper for the class.
Going back to consumer math,
Yes.
that is a phenomenal value. Just look at this. It's an inch thick, weighs 4 pounds. It's got everything that you would ever need to master this class, and it comes with the cost of the class. That's pretty awesome. Are you taking charter funds right now?
Yes, I'm working through homeschool coaches.
Good.
She
Excellent.
represents about 30 different charter schools. So that is definitely part of the program.
Very good. Any last second commentary you care to make before we shut this thing down?
I think you'll find geometry to be a lot of fun. We do 2-column proofs. We'll do some constructions, which nowadays most of your textbooks don't do a whole lot with a compass and ruler. But I find if you get the hands-on, you actually get to see how the geometry fits together. That when you draw a triangle, what parts do you need to use? We'll do a lot of what's called coordinate geometry, which is a blend of algebra and geometry. Because one of the major concerns about geometry is that students forget their algebra skills. Well, in my class, you're going to get a lot of algebra skills along with the geometry. So if you're worried about losing algebra, because most students take Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and Algebra 2, most classes, you spend half the year reviewing what you should have learned during Algebra 1.
That's pretty typical, almost any class that you do in a classroom environment.
Right.
So, but if you were to take the full series over the next 3 years, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, all the classes are a constant review and use of Algebra 1. So the mastery component really pops out, and you'll end up being a student in algebra and geometry. So,
and for those of you who are really ambitious, it's actually possible to take geometry and Algebra 2 at the same time. So if you want to get ahead a little bit, and if you have an extra time slot in your schedule, consider that as a possibility.
That is amazing, because I've seen that happen in the past with other students, other classes. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Alan. I appreciate it. And to you, this is the time. We're August 4th right now, August 5th. This is the time to give him a call, or go to my website, excellenceineducationhomeschooling.com, and go to the math department and go down to Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and Geometry. Sign up now before the classes fill up. That would be awesome. And I wish you great success the upcoming year. And for all of you, have a great day, a better weekend when it rolls around, and we will see you on the next video.